the organizers, as he is the second person to graduate from grade 12 in Arabic and Islamic education from Nyamina Sotokoi, an opportunity he never dreamed of having. Samba Cherno Nyang is also among the 5 going to Libya, and his words were also of appreciation, highlighting the significant move the World Islamic Call Society has taken in helping the less privileged. This orientation accorded them the opportunity to familiarize themselves with their travel logistics, as the 5 leaving for Senegal are expected to leave the country on Thursday, 23rd January, and the ones leaving to Libya by the end of the month. Rohi Bite, Grts News.
The military will conduct a series of live firing exercise for recruit intake 33B at Lance Corporal Bojang Range in Brikama from Thursday 23rd to Saturday 25th January 2014 at 700 hours. A news release from Defense Headquarters urges the general public, especially those living around the range in Brikama and its satellite villages, to avoid the designated area during the exercises. The cooperation of the general public is highly solicited. The dispatch ends. We will be back with news from outside the Gambia after this break.
Dr. Alhaji Yahya AJJ Jameya Naweek Staff Association present Assane Ndiaye Ngirgimond and the Sek Jeliba Kuyate and the Kumaremond Nyari Ndanan Tinyeti Gudi Assane Ndiaye Jeliba Kuyate Kumaremond Nasa Defatinenko 31st January 2014 Gala dinner exceptionnel Benjamin Hall Paradise Suite Hotel Tickets $1,500 Saturday 4th February 2014 Grand Dance Benjamin Hall Paradise Suite Hotel Tickets $500 VIP $700 Assane Ndiaye Akdomu Dem Jeliba Kuyate Nebutiyama live show Sunday 2nd February 2014 Bakau Stadium. Get ready. Assane Ndiaye Jeliba Kuyate Humanity Stars tickets Khalinu Lalian $75 Maggie $100 VIP $300 Naweek Staff Association you can learn xamé ci NASA di leen indi lu nu mel Kakatay ba tas and c'est père bu xel from Dakar Sénégal Modou Moussa Wagan Khalidang Balo li bu leen ko kenn nettali.
Super Savers.
It's official. 99 Bluetooths to call any telephone in the Gambia. Yes, yes, yes! It's now cheaper to call any network from your Comium phone.
99 Bluetooths to call any network. Truly the lowest in the Gambia.
Comium, making communication cheaper.
99.
99? Yes! Yes!
Comium Super Savers.
99 Bluetooths a minute. No need to look at the number you're calling. Just make sure it's your Comium phone you're calling with. Unbelievably cheaper to call with your Comium number.
Terms and conditions apply. First minute is regular rate. Any minute added enjoys this offer. One of the many reasons we say your credit lasts longer with Comium.
Comium. We are better together.
Welcome back. The newly elected interim president of the Central African Republic has outlined her priorities, promising to open talks with members of the disbanded Seleka coalition and the rival Christian militia. In the capital, Bangui, meanwhile, French troops are struggling to control youths trying to revenge on Muslims they accuse of targeting Christians. We have more in the CFI report.
To one of the city's biggest hospitals tells the story. The morgue is overflowing with bodies, both civilians and soldiers, killed in the battle between rebels and government forces. Some of the civilians who were wounded were deliberately targeted.
These people come, they want the key of the house, the shop. So when I went to get the key, they shot me in my back and I fell down. When I fell down, they went away.
Malakal is now in the hands of troops loyal to President Salva Kiir. It took days of fighting and the help of Ugandan forces to force the rebels out of the capital of the Upper Nile region. Government forces must now consolidate their hold on the city, as well as on others captured recently. Their grip is still fragile. All this means getting aid in is touch and go.
It's difficult for us to get in and out of the locations, the towns of Malakal, Bentiu and Bor, etc. So what we're doing is adapting our programs to become more nimble and quick, so that when windows of opportunity present themselves, we can get these supplies and equipment out to the much needed areas.
For aid organizations and the UN to be fully operational, fighting must end. For the moment, neither side is showing any sign of seeking a ceasefire.
The warring parties in Syria, alongside delegates from the US, Russia and European Union, have started preliminary discussions on ways of ending the three-year conflict. Heated exchanges between the US Secretary of State and Syria's foreign minister over President Bashar al-Assad's role in a transition government dominated day one of the Montreux talks. We have more in the CFI report.
It took 1.5 years of negotiations to organize the second international meeting on the deadly conflict in Syria. Although the essential part of the conference takes place on Friday, according to Ban Ki-moon, the first contact among Western powers, Arabs, Russians and the Chinese, began by a call to take advantage of the occasion to put an end to the Syrian people's suffering. Talks will be neither simple nor rapid, says the Russian foreign minister, but they should be in line with what was decided during Geneva I, according to his US counterpart.
To make concluding remarks. Mutual consent, which is what has brought us here, for a transition government means that that government cannot be formed with someone that is objected to by one side or the other. That means that Bashar al-Assad will not be part of that transition government.
Dismissing the idea that his president may step down, Syrian Foreign Minister Walid al-Muallem made a long speech against the opposition delegates. He accused them of having blood on their hands and committing atrocities to carry out the Wahhabi terrorist plot, Wahhabi meaning Saudi here, with backing from the West. For his part, the leader of the opposition national coalition denounced Bashar al-Assad's war crimes and called for the application of the meeting's agenda. All of Assad's powers should be transferred, including the executive, the military and the investigative power, and this would be the first building block of a new Syria. Hailing the opposition's courage, the French foreign minister wanted to be pragmatic. He asked for an immediate ceasefire and the opening of a humanitarian corridor to help the civilians. The chance of his call being heard is equal to the chance of this conference being successful.
We now take our second break. And before we take leave of you, a quick reminder of the day's top stories. Gambia is mourning the passing of His Grace Dr. S. Taliwa Ethelbert Wille Johnson, Bishop of the Gambia, first Gambian Archbishop and 9th Primate of the province of West Africa, who died on Tuesday aged 59. Officials of the Higher Education Ministry have been touring skills acquisition centers across the country to ascertain the state of affairs. Former Bangui Mayor and interim President-elect Catherine Samba Panza has pledged to hold talks with rival forces blamed for the carnage in the Central African Republic. And after 18 months of painstaking negotiations and the threat of last-minute withdrawal, parties to the 3-year conflict in Syria and representatives of the international community and organizations have started talking peace in the Swiss town of Montreux. What was all in this edition of the news? Thanks for the pleasure of your company and do stay with GRTs. Until Until then, we'll be back at 10 with more news. I am Fatijani Mbaye.